Good evening, Southwest Florida. Welcome to another edition of Lead Pitch Live. We're back. More interviews. Lead Pitch Live, the media sponsor of the conversation with the Greeks, the Divine Nine here at the Delta Life Center in the heart of Fort Myers on Michigan Avenue in Dunbar, the largest African-American community in the southwest quadrant of the state of Florida. So without further ado, so good to get a lady of Alpha, Kappa, Alpha sorority. Barbara is here. And the political guru, my mom, my godmom of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated with the red jacket, Gerri Ware is here. Welcome, ladies, both of you, to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's so cool to get an AKA and a Delta on at the same time.
Yeah.
And the only person can get that done is Lead Pitch Live. But you guys know when to come together and work together, right? The sororities and stuff. Let's lay this out, Barbara. I'm going to start off with you, Barbara. Tell us what is the Pan-Atlantic Council here in Lee County, and what does that mean to a person who doesn't know what the Greek life is?
Pan-Atlantic Council is a group of Greeks that come together to bring ideas together, to mobilize, to help bring awareness to the community of service to all mankind.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have to have gray hair to be in the Pan-Atlantic Council? I see some gray hairs, some gray. Y'all guys are looking distinguished.
Lee, I think that's just wisdom.
And I don't know if Robert have the little gray or not. Like your hair, by the way, all that natural going on. Gerri, the Divine Nine. The Divine Nine is passionate and motivated about getting people out to vote, aren't they?
Collectively, yes. We came together and decided that all of us have a social action theme in our sororities and our fraternities. So that's what Pan-Atlantic Council has come together this time, the Divine Nine, to make sure that we get this vote out collectively.
Now, you have an interesting story on your, well, I know you got arrested a couple of times in college and all of that. You were voting before then, though, right? Or was that around the time that you started voting? Let me hear your voting story.
My voting story, I graduated from Florida A&M in 1965. During this time that I was there matriculating for nursing, that's when we protested in Tallahassee trying to make a difference, make change, and that's when we got arrested. Well, I did not get a chance to vote because remember the Voting Act did not pass until 65. So my first vote was in 1966.
Okay, I want to stay with that for a minute. So when the voting rights, it passed in 1965, right? Mm-hmm. Prior to 1965, what was the law of the land for black people?
We weren't allowed to vote.
No blacks could vote, period. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was hallelujah, right?
Yes, it was.
Does it disappoint you now that we have to work so hard to get people to vote, utilize their liberty and their democratic process to vote after all that you saw people go through?
Yes, Barbara can attest to that, and Robert was there. All of us were there Saturday doing voter registration at the football field, which was like from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 or 8 o'clock that evening, because they have like 6 games of Part 1 of football.
Games were going on that day?
All day long.
Okay.
And it was very depressing to me to encounter young people saying, no, I don't vote, I don't want to vote. Mm. And to think about what all we went through made me think about John Lewis. You know, when Barbara and I were together on the John Pettis Bridge with John Lewis this last time in March, we were together. Because we all went on that bus up there and took some kids and adults to march. So to think about what all we went through to get the right to vote, and to hear people say they're going to do what they want to do anyway, I don't want to vote, I don't care about voting, it's very depressing to me. And so Robert and Todd and Forrest Walker and Barbara, we all began trying to talk to them about why they need to vote.
So how do you maintain, because you're always optimistic, you're always thinking things are going to always be better. How do you keep that optimism after that? Mm-hmm.
Faith is the key. Without faith, you have no hope. Mm-hmm. So you got to always think that there is a light at the end of that tunnel. It's going to happen. Because if you don't think it, nothing's going to happen.
Now, she mentioned you a couple of times, Barbara. First of all, what was it like walking on that Edmund Pettus Bridge in my home state of Alabama? I've gone over the bridge just in a car. My mom is from that area, grew up in that area. So when we go down there, we go over the bridge, and I read it. It was like second nature. But for you guys to go down there and do that must have been pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, first time, it was really amazing because it was so many people. It was like elbow to elbow, where the people just lined up and just ready, energized to go over the bridge. And it was just excitement. And people from different groups, young people, a lot of young groups, middle age, older. It was just, everybody was out there to participate because it was an opportunity for everyone to see that we had a chance, given a chance to vote, and here we are now. We're showing everyone that we now have the right to vote, and we're going to let everyone know, that we're going to come back every year just to show how excited we are that we were given that opportunity.
Did you guys get a chance to see John Lewis in that crowd at a distance or anything like that?
At a distance, but he was there. We were there with him. We were probably in the middle. He was in the forefront.
Right.
So we didn't get close enough to him.
All right, let me go back to you on this and tie this into the current state of affairs. Like when I see all this social unrest happening on TV, all the young people seem to be mobilized and Black Lives Matter and all of that, I'm thinking that's going to translate over into vote. It may be doing that in other cities, but you said that particular Saturday at the football field, you guys were disappointed in the way young people were responded. So my question is, do you think that they are being inspired by what they're seeing on television and seeing around the country in terms of the young people movement?
Okay, I would say that basically, based on the conversation that we've had, that the ones who are expressing a non-desire to vote, they're not looking at the videos. They're not looking at how people are fired up and motivated to go out there and vote. They're missing something. So I would say that our young people need to be more educated, or someone needs to educate them. As Gerri said, we cannot be tired going out there to educate. When they say they're not, then we have to force even more to let them see the importance of voting and that their voice do matter.
Now, your sorority sister who I talked to earlier, she talked about mobilizing on the college campuses. So you're inspired by that, right?
I'm inspired by the mobilization that's being done on the campus because not only they're encouraging people to register, they're educating their peers and then mobilizing, getting into action. And by them doing that, they can motivate others also.
That we're talking about that young vote, Gerri. I think that young vote is very critical, can change so much because there's so many of these young, energized young people. If they get every year, when you turn 18, right? I think once you turn 18, millions turn 18 each year. If that generation of people just get mobilized, it can change a whole lot of things that's happening in society.
Sure it can. The key to me is we've got to reach our young people, and they've got to be educated. Like Barbara was saying, they don't know our history. They don't know what it means. Black votes matter. That's my motto. Black votes matter. If you were to talk to Biden, South Carolina is the one, blacks.
That's right.
Caused Biden to escalate to where he is now today. So we've got to get our young people to realize the importance of why they need to vote. Why do you vote? Why do you vote?
I'm going to come back to you with some specific deadline, but I want to make sure I don't forget to get this from you, Barbara. The first time you voted, what motivated you to become an active voter?
I can make a difference. That was one of the main things. I had an opportunity because I was given a right to vote, so now it was my chance to go ahead and
This is
vote.
in college or?
In college, yes, because basically once you, with that population, going to a historically black college, coming from Fort Myers.
Close to your college, by the way.
Alabama State in
Okay.
in Montgomery,
Okay, we got
Alabama.
Alabama State, Alabama A&M in here, Talladega College, Alabama in the house.
Yes.
Talladega, folk, Talladega. Go ahead.
Yes, and coming from Fort Myers and going to Montgomery, and to see so many black professionals, whereas here I didn't see any.
Right.
And it was so inspiring that anything that promotes promotes success, I wanted to do. And voting was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that motivated me to vote.
I see. Gerri, let's go to, before I want to get with you on this social unrest, on when you were looking at the social unrest, the Black Lives Matter, you're glued to TV, you're glued to social media, and you saw all these white people, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, old, young, out there doing all of this over George Floyd.
Yeah.
Did that inspire you? Do you see that as the moment of change in this country, or do you think that we may be relaxing too much?
His daughter is the one that brought tears to my eyes. She said, "My father will change the world." And he is. He's a part of the impetus.
George Floyd.
Yes, George Floyd's daughter said, "My father will change the world." And you can see that because there are more events. This is not the first time that blacks have been killed, and we know that. We had lynching in the past. They took on a different mantra now with the guns. Even with those people that are there to protect us are the ones that are destroying us. So it really makes me want to say, Lord, what can I do with the black male? Because that's the catalyst for me. It's trying to save that black male.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm so much involved with Warner football. I've got to save the young male.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to me.
Kamala Harris, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority on the vice presidential ticket.
Yes, Lord.
How the Deltas receiving that?
Ready to go. Armed and ready to go. Because, we are social action minded. 1913, that's what we did. We marched in. And we out here for Kamala Harris because HBCU, me too, Florida A&M. That's what I'm saying. And I'll tell you, I never thought I would see the first black president. And now to be able to see, Lord spare my life, to see the black female vice president, so grateful, so grateful. So what more could you want? It doesn't matter to me that she wears the pink and green because we are one.
Mm-hmm.
We are one in Christ. And that's what we're out here to do. So Delta Sigma Theta is out here just as forceful trying to make it happen.
Phi Beta Sigma, we right there.
I'm trying to tell you, Divine
Zeta Phi
Nine,
Beta,
remember,
Alpha Phi Alpha,
collaboration, Divine Nine,
Omega Psi Phi.
we forget about what our colors are.
Iota,
We think about what we need to do.
Sigma Gamma
We
Rho,
need to organize,
Kappa Alpha Psi.
strategize,
I'm
and
kidding them all in, y'all. I know y'all listening.
Yeah, we got to organize, strategize, and get it done.
Now let's go to some specifics. At today's date is the 17th of September.
That's
People
correct.
may be watching this
That's
a couple of days later. What are some particular dates that people need to be aware of? I think there's a get registered date. There's a early voting date.
Yes.
All of that.
October the 5th is the last date to be registered to vote for November the 3rd. If you're going to be able to vote November the 3rd, you must have registered by October the 5th.
How do you get registered?
You can call me. I keep voter registration. I keep applications in my car at all times.
Okay.
You may
Get you
go
registered.
online and do it. You can go to down to the office. The main office is on Cleveland Avenue across from the Bell Tower. You can also go to the Theta building because on the 3rd floor. And there are so many opportunities
That's
to
the tax collectors building. People should call it Dr.
to
Vader.
be able to register to vote.
Melvin Morgan building.
Yes, but like I'm saying, you don't have to worry about it. If you're not able to go on that computer and do it, someone is there. Always somebody like me out there trying to register people.
What do you need? What pieces of paperwork
Now,
you need?
all you need to know is your date of birth and the last four numbers of your social.
That's it?
That's it.
You don't have to show any fancy?
Nope. Not
Seems like Trump
anything.
trying to get people to have to do a lot more stuff.
No. All you need to know is the last four numbers of your
That's the
social.
law in this area.
In the state of Florida.
Okay.
All you need is the last four number of your social. Don't have to have any ID for me to register you to vote. It's up to you because you sign your name when you complete this stuff that is correct. That you're a citizen that you're a felon, your rights have been restored, or whatever that situation may be, your local address, your date of birth, last four numbers of your social. That's it.
Now, when you register to vote, how do people know that they are registered? Do they get something in the mail?
Call,
do they get a card?
Yes, you'll get a card in the mail. You can also call 239-533-8363 and validate the fact that you're registered to vote.
Okay, and then if you're registered to vote if you're going to vote, I know we're going to go back to mail-in, but if you're going to vote on November the 3rd, you have to go to a particular precinct in your area, and that would be on your card?
Your precinct shows on your card, but early voting allows you to vote anywhere.
Okay.
All you do is go to any of the 11 sites that they have for early voting, and you can vote. But after early voting, you must go to your precinct. That's important. Okay,
before I get back over to Barbara, I want to go through the processes. Okay, so you registered. Now that you're registered by October 5th,
yes.
Now what are your options in terms of how you can vote?
First of all, we need to consider the mail ballot. Pandemic has created a monster for us, but we are blessed in all the ways that we can vote. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to stand in line. You can call, you can request it by computer for a mail ballot to be sent to your home. You can sit down in the luxury of your house, fill it out, sign 2 places on the back, print at the top, at the bottom your signature, and date it. Put it back in the sleeve, put it in the mailbox, or you may take it to either one of the voting places.
Okay, you said call. Give that number again.
239-533-8363.
When you call that number, you're going to get a human on the phone.
Yes, you will.
And you need to tell that human what?
May I have a mail ballot, please? Give your name, your address, and it'll be mailed out to you. You can go on the computer. You can ask me. I have forms that you can fill out requesting a mail ballot. We do that. When we were out at the park Saturday, we had forms there ready for them. They're in the churches, trying to make sure that the churches have availability to make sure that people have all the options that they could use to get that mail ballot.
So there's 2 ways a person can vote, and there's 2 times a person can vote. They can vote by mail-in, and they can vote at the poll.
Yes.
Early or on November the 3rd.
Or mail ballot.
Or mail ballot. Mm-hmm. And I said there were 2 ways and there are 2 times. There's an early voting time, then it shuts down, right?
Right.
So
the early voting
tell me that time, right?
The early voting starts October the 19th. All right.
That's when you go to
You can go to any one of those 11 sites. It doesn't matter what your precinct is and vote. All right. At that time, you can also take your mail ballot and drop it off there if you want, because there's a place there for that too.
If anybody needs somebody to come and show them how to help them fill out something or any information, they can contact you.
Yep. Contact me, but we've got a committee.
Right.
We've got a committee of people with the Divine Nine who will assist.
All right.
People in doing this.
Right. Oh, great. Now, the committee of the people, Barbara, and the Divine Nine, they are here, they're ready, they're motivated. You make that phone call, they're going to help you out, right?
Yes, we're all collectively together, working together to call individuals who have registered to make sure that they vote in this coming election.
Okay.
We're doing that we plan having posters out, we plan to have forums. We're just going to do a lot of things coming together to try to inform our public of how they can vote, when they can vote, and to get registered so they can vote.
When we hear the President of the United States saying, it's rigged, what should we think? What should people think? Don't let that
negative ideas get into your head. We know that a lot of times people have opinions. They want to block your consciousness and put a lot of junk in there. So we need to just throw it out, stay focused,
right,
and look for the goal. The goal is to use our right to vote, because we have that. No matter what someone says, you still have an opportunity to use a pen and paper and mark your decision.
But it sounds like the way Gerri described it, that in the state of Florida, we have one of the easiest ways compared to a lot of other places.
Sure.
Last 4 digits of your social security and so on and so forth. I'm gonna come back to you on that, Gerri, but it sounds like if you live in the state of Florida, you have no excuses, right?
You have absolutely no excuse. Now, that information will be verified, so we're making it, the state of Florida is making it very easy for everyone to vote, but just know that your correct information that goes in that form, it will be verified.
Right.
And after it's verified, you will get your voter's registration card.
Because I think one of the things that I took from what Gerri said, that you don't necessarily have to have a driver's license or anything like that.
Correct.
Some states are requiring those kind of things, right?
No.
Now,
Yes.
Gerri, the early voting seems like, because they're saying, like, it seems like everybody's pushing, vote early, avoid the crowd.
Right.
The post office may be overwhelmed and all of that. So if you can, do what?
You don't have to mail it.
Okay.
Like I said before, you can drop it off. Early voting has a box there to collect mail ballots. So there's all.
A box where, Gerri?
There's a box at the at the election places.
Okay.
You go in to vote. Mm-hmm. They have a box there for mail ballots.
Just like a mailbox. You just see it.
Yep.
This is from
You go
just
there,
drop it
there's
in.
There's a person that's secure. That's securing the box. Make sure that it's safe, that you drop it in. And just like when you send, like they take the ballots in at the end of the evening, that mail ballot then goes down to the election office.
So do that
We
early.
cannot allow voter suppression.
Right.
Because those fear tactics is a method of suppression.
That's suppression.
That's suppression. You can't allow that to happen.
You got to block that out.
You got to block it out.
Okay.
You got to have a strong mind. And don't tell me you're gonna do it anyway. No, black votes matters.
And if you out of town, you're looking at Lee Pitts Live now, and you're registered here in Lee County or what have we, you can get that sent to you out of town as well?
Well, it's gonna come to wherever you ask them to mail it to you.
Right.
Mail ballots for the address you give them to mail it to you.
Okay. Now, in the presidential election, everybody, well, no matter what your political party is, you can vote.
Yes.
At the local level, it's open too, isn't it? Or you don't have to, it's Democrat or Republican, you can only vote?
We are a primary state. Now, in the primaries, you know what I'm saying? You have to be affiliated. You have to vote according to your party. But when the general comes around, it's open to everybody.
Free game.
That's right. Free game.
Are you following local, Barbara? We got a lot of people color running locally nowadays. Does that motivate you? You feel inspired for the various offices? I don't want you don't have to get too specific, but just go ahead and give me a general.
Yes, I'm very inspired to see that we as people as color see it's an opportunity. It's my chance to go out there and vote. Why not run for an office? I have just as much chance as anyone.
Mm-hmm. You?
Well, whoever would have believed that we would have had a black president. So that's what I'm saying now. You need to prepare yourself to be a candidate. And like I said, we have to support. It doesn't matter what your color may be. You need to support that candidate that's going to be effective, that's going to do what needs to be done for you. I love seeing my people of color running for office. I've ran for office. We're trying to find others to run for office of color. That's important. You need to see people that look like you doing things. Mm-hmm. I was so inspired when every time I think about Barack Obama, look how many of those 8 years that he served, nothing bad about him at all, nothing. Just a struggle trying to get things done because the other party was there trying to keep him from being effective. They wanted to make him a one-term president, but it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. We went out there and he did it again and again. So that's why it really inspires me to see our people wanting to try to run for office to make a difference.
Okay, so now we get into our...
I've got one more thing, because like I tell people, if I'm on the menu, I need to be at the table. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in order to get at the table, you got to run for office.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to give each one of you 30 seconds to make your final appeal specifically to people of African descent, black folk. Let's start off with you, Barbara, right here.
We want people to get out there and register. We want you to register. We want you to get educated. We want you to mobilize, not only you, but tell your family and your friends, vote.
Okay.
Black votes matter. Black votes matter. We need to get ourselves registered. Not only register, but you got to go vote. Not only do you need to vote, you need to find 5 other people to vote.
Okay, so I couldn't have said it better myself, and as a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity and a part of the Divine Nine, I'm encouraging everybody to vote. Let's vote. Let's make a difference. Let's use our power. This is a critical time in the juncture of America's history, and we have a chance. We got all of these black people moving around here in society. Let's get our minds on one accord. Don't listen to any of the negative feedback. Let's get into some good trouble. Let's remember what John Lewis taught us. Let's do all of those things. This is probably I've been doing this television show for 30 years now. I have never seen local and national politics be so important and so talked about than now. We got the COVID-19, we got social unrest, we got election coming up, we got people all on Zoom. You won't see me on Zoom. I don't do Zoom. I got a real TV show. But everybody's out there getting that information out. Get in touch with members of the Divine Nine. That's to be the Greek letter, sororities and fraternities, and they'll get you all registered up, and they'll drive you down there, or they'll drive your stuff down there and drop it off for you. Is that the whole souls to the poll that's going on?
I was about to tell you that. All right. See, your mail ballot should start arriving to your resident September the 29th. After that, that's how early you'll get your ballot. If you requested a mail ballot, it'll come to your house as early as September the 29th and then on. But we are trying to get churches to combine. We want to have a stroll to the polls. We want to help our people complete their ballots. We want to get in our cars and go together and show them we are going to make a difference. You're not going to suppress us. You're not going to instill that fear. We're going to do this.
You say you're trying to get the churches mobilized. How's that coming so far?
Very good, very good, very good. Churches are very well, they're working very hard with us to get this done. All
right, politics is in the air, people. For those who say it can't be done, they are usually interrupted by those like these lovely ladies who are doing it. We're here at the Delta Life Center in the Dunbar community, Lee Pitts Live. Politics Central, we're on the spot. We're going to keep you up to date on, and I know Gerri Ware will be contacting me again, and we'll be talking to you again in the near future.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, Southwest Florida. Thanks for watching Lee Pitts Live. Of course, I'm Lee Pitts. I hope you enjoy that particular show, but you can always catch us here on YouTube. Just click on the subscribe button down there. That way you can get your Lee Pitts Live on demand when you want it and how you want it. We also encourage you to watch our show on Fox 4 and connect with us on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live.